All right, we're going to try a whole new setup here. The volume should be right and everything else, but that's beside the point. We're going to get in to Genesis chapter 6. And this is the reason why the flood of Noah was brought into being. We ended chapter 5 in the book of Peter that said that God's not didn't spare the angels that sinned, but cast them down to Tartarus or hell, which is the only place in the Bible. Well, let's just get right into it. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply upon the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. Equate this to Adam's genealogy, and it'll make more sense. Verse 2, that the B'nai Elohim, sons of God, sons of Elohim, supernatural beings, angels, saw the daughters of men, the daughters of Adam, Adam's descendants, put it that way, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. You got to remember also in Matthew 24 and Mark 13, it says, as in the days of Noah were, they were giving in marriage to the fallen angels. That's what this equates to. Verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. That's one of the generations mentioned in the Bible. The other two, I believe, are 40 and 70. Verse 4, there were giants, translated from the Septuagint. The Masoretic text reads Ha-Nephilim, which either, in my opinion, should be translated the Nephilim or the fallen ones. I'm not saying giants is wrong. It's just kind of, they don't agree, the Septuagint and the Masoretic text in this verse. The fallen ones were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, the angels, came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Men of renown. So we see here that angels had the ability to bear children with flesh women, just like the serpent in the garden. Throw that in there. Verse 5, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. I don't know if you would, I don't find the book of Enoch as 100% reliable, but it's interesting what that says. It's not just man that was polluted through this act. There were animals and everything else. They were teaching men how to war, and that every imagination nation of the thoughts of his heart, of his mind, was only evil continually. Verse 6, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Verse 7, and the Lord said, I will destroy man, who I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Man wasn't originally created in flesh. We were all spiritual beings. We're having a flesh, but we all are going to have a temporary flesh body experience. And there's people that aren't even Christian that get that. The Bible makes that very clear, that we all existed in the world that was, and we were born from above into the flesh. So let's continue on here. I tend to talk too much. Sorry about that. Verse 8, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah hadn't mixed. His family had a perfect genealogy, and it would be through him that Christ would come. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect, there it is, in his generations, meaning his pedigree hadn't been altered, or the seed line hadn't been altered. They hadn't mixed with the fallen angels. And Noah walked with God. Verse 10, and Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Verse 11, the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And translate the word earth, land, because this happened in, the flood will happen in a geographical location. That's it. I'll get into that later. All right, let's continue on here. Verse 13, and God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. These are the giants that were born out of this unnatural union between supernatural beings and flesh women. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. Verse 15, and this is the fashion which thou shalt make of it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Verse 16, a window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shall be set in the side thereof with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. Verse 17, and behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the land, the earth. Look that word up in your Strongs. It's eretz. It can be translated as earth or as land, more concretely land. Earth is abstract. To destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die, in the land shall die. Verse 18, but with thee I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Verse 19, and of every living thing of all flesh, don't read over that, 2 of every sort, 2 of all flesh, 2 of every race, most likely, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Now it doesn't say animals here. So this could mean the races. Just say that in passing. And again, I don't believe that this flood was worldwide. It's basically a fact in my mind that it was a regional flood to destroy the hybrid offspring of the giants. Verse 20, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. Verse 21, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Verse 22, thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. He didn't hesitate. He did exactly what God asked him to do. That's faith. And let's just summarize very simply. As in the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. It's going to be just like that in the end. These fallen angels are coming back with Satan, who is the Antichrist. It's not some flesh man. I saw somebody today, I'm not going to mention any names, but they think that Trump could be the Antichrist. Donald Trump is not the Antichrist. Satan himself is literally the Antichrist. The Bible translates that for us. We don't need to translate it. So, these fallen angels, under Satan's guidance, no doubt, instead of being born from above, they came from above and impregnated the daughters of Adam, the seed line through which Christ would come. So God is going to wipe them out in that region, in my honest opinion.